For hundreds of videos about drawing portraits, contrast, composition, shading, values, colors, techniques, and the like, just go to my website, portraitartacademy.com. Yes, we already know that. You know that, but they don't. Oh yes. Did you know that mark making can be done through different techniques? I already showed you loose techniques and precise, more stuck, accurate techniques. So there are several of those, and we're going to go over those. The first one is hatching, and I have mentioned this in some other courses and lessons before. Hatching is to use parallel lines. That's how you do it. You can create darkness by drawing the lines closer together, so more lines close together, or make thicker lines. Of course, we talk about hatching, we also talk about cross-hatching. Here you see the difference up there. Hatching is just straight parallel lines. Cross-hatching is those lines countered with lines that go parallel across from it. So they go in two different directions. The closer or thicker the lines are, the darker the value appears to be. Then there are line patterns, which is also kind of like hatching or cross-hatching. You use small sections of parallel lines, and you can also make the lines thicker or create more lines to make the values darker. As you can see in this example, the shadow underneath the ball is much darker than the shadow on top of the ball, on the ball. Contour lines are typically lines around it, but you can also, I guess the definition of a contour line could also be lines that are going in the same direction of that object. So they go around it or within it, or they draw lines that go with the direction of the shape. And the closer they are, the darker they appear. To have a darker value, and you can see that also in this drawing, that the cast shadow is way darker than the form shadow. Rendering is another technique, using small movements going back and forth to color in an area. Basically, it's what I'm doing now with the mouse, like that. It's coloring in. That's usually what we call coloring in. Stay within the lines, stay between the lines. The closer together or the harder you press your pencil on the paper, the darker the area becomes. Then there's scribbling. You've probably heard of that. You go all over the place, not in a particular shape or direction, using looseness and lightness of your pencil. Scribbling is one line, so you don't let go of the paper. You're consistently letting your pencil or pen touch the paper. You don't let go. The closer together, the more space is filled up, and therefore the darker the value. But opposed to scribbling, there's also something you probably have not heard of, is scumbling. Scumbling, again, all over the place. It's not in a particular shape or direction. You use looseness and lightness of your pencil. And the difference between scribbling and scumbling is that scumbling consists of many different lines, frequently getting out of touch with the paper. So you're not touching it constantly, you're letting go, then you scribble another. Basically, you could say you're scribbling a lot of lines instead of just one line and then creating something out of that. The close together means darker values, and you can see here in the examples that these are made by scumbling techniques. And then there's stippling. You might have heard of that. You use tiny dots, and the closer they are together, the darker it will be.